What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have a combination of living in an urban environment with a lot of culture and beautiful things, but also being able to be around nature.
As someone who's not a Native American, the dream was to come here and do art and be creative and do it at a high level and have it seen by everyone out there, and it's definitely coming true.
I just want to do what I love and be able to make a living off of that.
American dream is like free, like everybody free, and then everybody friendly.
The American dream was to just come to the United States for a better and greener pastures, and I did achieve that.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Brad is back! Brad is back! Did you hear? Brad is back! Brad's back! We have a show today.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
I know, me too! Oh my god! Brad's back! I gotta make a clean in here. Oh, I'm so excited! Brad's back! I'm cleaning. I'm getting ready. I want everything to be perfect for Brad. Oh, I haven't been this excited since last time I saw my shadow. So now is the time you have all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy!
We are back. It is April 4th, 2022, Monday. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, fresh off his birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Hello, birthday boy. How are you?
I'm here and I'm alive, y'all.
Did you not think you were going to survive your birthday?
No. It was a very long weekend.
It was a lot of partying?
It was a lot of partying.
Like, was this more partying than the usual birthday?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it was the entire weekend.
Was this a special birthday?
Nope.
It was not.
Actually, it was.
It was.
Because it was a birthday and I was alive, so
Okay.
that makes it a special birthday.
Right. And you want to know what? Well, everybody, the world has been through so much. Why not enjoy,
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely.
Let some steam off, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's say hello to the squad. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. How are you? Jessica Leamy, my dear, squad up. Pepe, Samuel Vitalis. Osugwu, squad up. How are you? Latoya, his Forever Peterson, squad up. Bad Gal Thompson. Is that it? Bad Gal.
Bad gal.
Bad Gal Thompson.
Bad gal.
Hey, squad, how you all doing? No, but that's bad isn't good.
Yeah,
Right, of course.
Right.
Alcia Stone, squad up. How are you? Demba Sow. Dion Reed, squad up. And who else we see here? Dawn Harriet. Welcome back, squad and crew. And let's see, anybody else? We see Joy Titus, I see watching. It's the same people saying hello to each other, Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Burrell Harris, squad up. And Marlon Duncan, squad up family. Let's see what's going on YouTube. The Top Cat. She is number one.
Whoa.
On both YouTube and Facebook.
How do you do that?
I don't
She's probably
know if
like on one computer and then the other one on the phone. She's like this.
Have we ever seen somebody double fist and be number one on both YouTube and Facebook?
Listen, I don't know if we have, but if we have or haven't, regardless of the fact, that is quite impressive.
I'm going to tell you something. Jilly, send her a Bradshaw Live mug on me.
Oh.
Send it to the Top Cat. I've never seen anybody. Top Cat, get in touch with Jilly.
Wow.
And you get a free Bradshaw Live mug. Because I've never I've never seen anybody.
Yeah, because I don't think we've ever called that out.
No, and you want to know what? If I see that in the future, anyone else who gets it will also get a free mug from me. All right, Westman, it's the least we can do.
Yeah.
All right, people love these mugs, right?
These are amazing.
These are nice mugs, right?
I use them at home.
You know, one day we're going to run out of these mugs. We're not going to be able to make them again.
Right.
And they could be a collector's item. You don't know. You don't know. It depends on how our show goes.
This is true.
Westman, squad up. How are you? Daryl Winnebar, squad up team. Folly Babe, welcome back, Brad. Thank you very much. Earth Angel, squad up. Denise Johnson, Kavar Harris. S. Bimji with a question. Pre-Schmooze question, Yo-Yo. What's going on with the pathway to citizenship for Dreamers? Any news on that or updates? Nothing. Nothing new. At least not in the news. Ann Ramirez, squad up. Anonymous Striker. Anonymous Striker. That's a new name. Squad up. How are you? Nancy Abel. Rilwan Kamar, squad up as well. I said Westman. And Westman claiming he's number one on both sometimes.
Okay.
I'm going to tell Westman the same thing that I just told S. Bimji about amnesty for Dreamers. I don't know.
Call it out.
I don't know. I've never seen Westman claim. I'm not saying he's not telling the truth,
No,
Westman.
right.
I would never. I just have not seen it.
Right.
You know, if you don't see it, it didn't happen. Right? Isn't that what they say? If you don't have a picture, it didn't happen, right?
Unfortunately.
All right. Next time, Westman, that happens,
Let us know.
you screenshot both, send it to us.
Yeah.
All right? Even if I miss it, just screenshot it. Free mug.
There you go.
All right. While supplies last. There you go. I had to put that disclaimer in. Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys to throw in all your questions in the comment section right now. So when we do have our social media check-in, we have all your questions that we need to answer because we can't get to all of them. So the earlier that you guys put it in, the more likely we'll be able to answer it. And also, please start sharing on all social media platforms. We are finally back. We've been gone for a whole week, so let everybody know that we're back.
Wait. Public service announcement. Jessica Leamy. Going crazy, and
I feel like she's done it.
She's claiming she's done it.
I'm pretty sure.
I've seen her number one on, but I don't know if I've seen her number one on both at the same time. Well, this is a new policy we're putting into place.
Yes. Starting now.
Starting now. New policy.
That's a smarter way to do it.
Right, new policy. If you
go.
did it in the past, as I said about the Dreamers amnesty, what can I do? But moving forward.
Moving forward now.
There you go. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Absolutely. All right. Like I said, start sharing because Brad is going to fill us in on the latest news, including the Biden administration's announcement that the Trump-era pandemic restrictions, known as Title 42, that effectively blocked migrants from entering the United States at the southern border is officially ending.
I have another public service announcement.
All right.
Jessica Leamy says she already has a mug.
She does.
But that doesn't mean you can't have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And if you get 4, you can have a whole dinner party with the Brad Show Live mugs.
Whoa.
Right?
Collector's item.
That's right. Go ahead, Yo-Yo.
All right, and guys, it is Fuzzy Monday, so that means we're gonna have some Fuzzy Monday stories about our animal friends, including some Ukrainian four-legged heroes who are doing their part to help their home country as it continues to fight the Russian invasion. Cuties.
And of course, you can call Spar and Bernstein 1-800-529-5465. That is the number to call our show right now. 1-800-529-5465. I believe we have, yes, we do have a bunch of lines open. So if you call right now, 1-800-529-5465. International +1 212-227-8933. And later in the show, we're going to hear the first part of my discussion with Marianna Treviño-Wright, who is the executive director of the National Butterfly Center, located in the lower Rio Grande Valley on the border of Texas and Mexico. Now, in February this year, the center announced it was shutting down due to safety concerns, Jonathan. And those are not safety concerns that are natural. Those are political safety concerns. Can you imagine the politics, how butterflies got involved in politics?
Crazy.
Marianna joined me to explain why. It's quite interesting. But in the meantime, you ready to start schmoozing?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Jonathan, it's been a week. We've been off the air. I have in my hand the top 181 stories of the week, pared down, hopefully.
Okay, let's get to it.
Pared down, hopefully. All right, the big news in immigration is the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They announced Friday that the Biden administration is going to end the Trump-era pandemic restrictions that effectively blocked migrants from entering the United States all throughout the COVID pandemic. Now, former President Trump, former Pumpkin, invoked a public health emergency known as Title 42 at the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. That prevented anybody from entering the United States of America, including asylum seekers at the border. And basically anybody who was coming to the border in Mexico, you were just turned around. Couldn't enter the United States to apply for asylum. In the past, the way it would work is you would get interviewed by an asylum officer. If you had a credible fear, you were allowed in to see an immigration judge to make your claim for asylum. And if you did not have a credible fear of persecution, they would deport you, jail you and deport you, send you back, whatever the case may be. Now, the CDC said in its announcement that they're going to terminate Title 42 on May 23rd, 2022. So it's still in effect until May 23rd. That's going to enable the Department of Homeland Security time to implement appropriate COVID-19 migration protocols, such as scaling up a program to provide COVID-19 vaccinations to migrants and prepare for the resumption of regular migration under Title 8. Now, the lifting of the pandemic restrictions is expected to have immediate ramifications and would mean a return to traditional immigration protocols that have been in place for decades, just like what I discussed. The big issue that the Democrats are going to have, just wait till you start seeing the news. Okay, the news is all going to be from the Republicans and from Fox and Rupert Murdoch and Tucker Carlson and all those other guys or women over there. Oh, Biden's opening up the border. Biden's opening up the border. Now, the department, and that's going to cause perhaps a lot of independent voters to swing Republican, Jonathan.
Right.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security is preparing a worst-case scenario surge of up to 18,000 migrants applying for asylum each day at the border. And while the lifting of Title 42, migrants still can be detained, they can still be deported. Doesn't mean you're being allowed in the United States of America, but many may be released into the United States while they are waiting on their pending asylum cases.
I feel like some of these Republican states are probably going to start saying that this would lead to a crisis at the U.S.-Mexican border.
Correct.
As well.
What they're going to say is that Biden opened up the border and they're allowing everybody to run. You know, the way they describe it is that people are literally, he opened up the door and people are literally running across the border. We don't know who the heck's coming in. We know nothing about the people coming in. That's not the case. What's happening is you go for an interview, you pass a credible fear that you in fact have a true claim for asylum, and then you go before an immigration judge, hopefully shortly thereafter, to have your asylum case heard. Many people would stay in detention while they're waiting on their asylum case. So it's not necessarily that you're just allowed across the border.
I also saw it just came in about an hour ago. It says Missouri, Arizona, and Louisiana, 3 Republican-governed states, announced that they'll be they're suing the administration of President Joe Biden.
Yep, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. And what's going to happen is that they'll probably make a lawsuit in a Republican county with a Republican federal judge that was either put in place by Bush or Trump, who would then put a hold on the program while they are waiting on, just like everything else with DACA and everything else. And eventually it'll make it up to the Supreme Court. So it's very possible that on May 23rd, Title 42 is still in existence. We don't know. We don't know. Now, again, Biden has a right to make any changes he wants.
Right.
The question becomes, did he follow the right rules?
Right.
Or did he just decide he's going to announce it and do nothing? We'll see.
I hope he doesn't.
We will
do
see.
that.
Now there's hundreds of Ukrainian migrants. They're also camping at the border in Tijuana, Mexico. They're seeking asylum. About 100 are being processed each day and allowed into the United States. The numbers are far fewer than in Europe, which has so far absorbed 3.8 million Ukrainians. Now, President Biden has promised to accept up to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees, and the promise to accept the migrants does not extend to Russians, to Mexicans, to South and Central American migrants, to West Indians seeking asylum at the border, Africans seeking asylum at the border. It is just 100,000 refugees for Ukraine. Now, there's two policy experts, J.C. Hendrickson of the International Rescue Committee and Julia Gallant of the Migration Policy Institute, and they told Newsweek that trying to resettle 100,000 Ukrainians into the United States could take up to 2 years. So it's not going to happen overnight. The analysts say the United States faces a major visa backlog and that refugee resettlement programs have depleted staff dealing with lengthy resettlement processing procedures. All of these backlogs, and I've done TikTok videos on this, and people are arguing with me on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, all these backlogs, including what they're talking about here, that they don't even have the personnel and the infrastructure to absorb 100,000 people. It's everyone goes, why is it so long these days? And the reason why it's so long is three things. One, Trump decimated immigration. Okay, he cut State Department staff back by 70%. He did not fund any State Department, USCIS, Department of Homeland Security agencies. He fired lots and lots of people. He put in regulations that made it cumbersome to process a case. So they put in a lot of regulations that extended the processing of cases to make them go longer. And he did it all on purpose to slow down the immigration process. Now, while that was happening, COVID happened. Now, COVID happens, guess what? Everybody's working from home. Is the government prepared to work from home? Absolutely not. That slowed everything down too.
Right.
And then you want to know what happened when we were told to come back to work? We had the Great Resignation. More people quit their jobs than at any time in the history of the United States.
Wow.
People said, you know what? I got used to working from home, or now that I'm home and I had a lot more thought, I want to do something else with my life. There was all sorts of combinations of why people quit their jobs.
Right.
And you want to know what? They also quit government jobs. All right, it wasn't just private sector jobs. Public sector jobs as well. People work consular officers at the U.S. Embassy, USCIS officers, immigration judges, everybody.
Wow.
Some people were scared to go back because they didn't want to get COVID. So there's all sorts of reasons. There was a huge Great Resignation that left a lot of applications that needed to be filed that couldn't. And now you have President Biden saying he wants 100,000 Ukrainians. They don't have the resources to do it. They don't even have the resources to process the existing cases. Like, I'll give you an example. Under former President Trump, the refugee ceiling dropped each year. He did it on purpose. Before Trump took office, 85,000 refugees were allowed into the United States annually. In Trump's last year, he cut refugees to 18,000 people.
Jeez.
Now, in a bipartisan letter to President Biden, led by Congressman David Cicilline, and featuring 61 other signatures, both Republicans and Democrats, bipartisan, they emphasized that Ukrainian refugees are being housed in temporary shelters as Europe struggles to accommodate more than 4 million people who fled the war-torn homeland. Congressman Cicilline says America's refugee system has stood as the crown jewel of humanitarian work, but he said that less than 15,000 refugees ultimately admitted into the United States during the last year of the Trump administration, a time when the pandemic exacerbated humanitarian crisis around the world, was embarrassingly small. If you say, on the Statue of Liberty, give us your poor, your weak, your huddled masses, people escaping war, people escaping famine, people escaping climate changes, people escaping dangerous countries, people escaping for their life because of rape and countries that aren't able to provide even basic security, all trying to escape. And America is supposed to be this beacon of, we will accept you, we will take you. 18,000 people. 18,000 people.
Wow.
So that's why.
From
That's why.
85,000.
And so how if you cut it down to 18,000 people, you know what happens when you cut it down to 18,000 people? Hey Joe, you have no work to do. You're fired because people didn't have any work. So they cut the staff. Now you got to go back and hire all these people.
Right.
You got to train people. You got to. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
That's why there's these huge backlogs.
Yeah.
Now, my opinion, the only way to do this is they have something called parole in place. So if you are parole, period. So if you are a Ukrainian or you have family that's in Ukraine, they have existing programs. It's called parole. And they are giving parole to people on a case-by-case basis to enter the United States. It doesn't give a Ukrainian a green card. It's not for life. It does give you work permission. It does allow you to live here on a temporary basis. That application is made at a U.S. embassy in a third country. And then eventually they'll probably extend the temporary protected status to those who are able to make it, because there's no way in the world that they're going to be able to get 100,000 Ukrainians into the United States in any reasonable amount of time. And meanwhile, President Biden, he called the carnage. Did you see these pictures, Jonathan?
Which ones?
In Bucha, Ukraine. The Russians have retreated from encircling Kiev. They realize that they're not able to decapitate the government, the Ukrainian government. Zelensky stayed in Kiev. They defended their capital. The Russians did not go into the capital. They weren't able to make it in there.
Wow.
The Ukrainians pushed them back. And now the idea, at least what you're reading, you don't know what's in Putin's mind.
Right.
But the idea, what you're reading, is that Putin thought that he was going to just take over Ukraine, put in a puppet government, is unable to do this. Now the thinking is that Putin wants to split Ukraine in half, kind of like North Korea, South Korea. Okay? So there'll be a Russian part of Ukraine that is controlled by a puppet government of Russia, and there will be a more westernized west portion of the Ukraine that would be part of the European Union. And they're going to basically cut the country in half. The Russian side on the east side is the side with all the natural resources. All the second most undeveloped natural gas resources in all of Europe. So people think maybe Putin's just looking to pump more gas out of the earth. We don't know what's in his mind. Okay, but what's happening is that they're retreating. The Russians are retreating from surrounding Kiev. They were in the suburbs of Kiev. Just think of like a normal suburb, like in any country you would live in. You know, there's the city and then this suburbia. And as they have retreated, there have been pictures that have come out.
That looks horrible.
Okay, corpses on the ground, executed people. Look at this, is a suburb of Kiev.
Sheesh.
In a major European country, with corpses of executed people. They line a street by the name of Yabluska Street in Bucha. Bucha is a suburb of Kiev. They found a mass gravesite of 150 people buried, shot, and killed. They have kidnapped over 15 mayors. Many of the mayors of these local towns have been killed, as long as their family as well.
Wow.
In a video addressed Sunday after the reports out of Bucha, these awful, awful pictures, President Biden said it's a war crime.
Yeah.
President Zelensky said not only is it a war crime, but it is genocide. Now, the alleged atrocities have drawn international outrage, not just from the United States, not just from within Ukraine, because nobody knew what was going on there until Russians retreated. Western leaders, including U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, are saying more sanctions. It's very possible how this affects everybody, because we are in a global society. It's very possible that because of this, Europe is going to now no longer purchase gas and natural gas and oil from Russia. If they do that, the president of Deutsche Bank, which is Germany's largest bank, said Europe is going to go into a massive recession. So although Europe wants to punish Russia,
it's going to hurt
it's
them.
also going to punish them as well. Europe goes in a massive recession. Guess who else goes into a massive recession? We here in the United States. China, people in Jamaica, people in Brazil, people in Africa.
Wow.
It reverberates worldwide and affects everybody. Now, the Russian military, they of course say it's fake. You want to know why they say it's fake? What is the playbook of authoritarianism, Jonathan? Everything is fake.
Constantly deny.
Fake. Everything's fake.
Fake.
Oh, you know what? I just lost the presidential election by 9 million votes. That's a fake election. Fake election. It was rigged. Fake.
Yeah.
Trump did the same exact thing. He's still doing it to this day.
Yeah.
When you know that a president's coming out and saying that's fake, it's rigged, when everybody else says it's not, guess you know who's always doing it? It's always the authoritarian figure doing it.
That's true.
That is their playbook.
Yeah.
So you knew Russia was going to say, "Oh, it's all fake pictures," when everybody else in the world is saying this ain't fake.
There are bodies on the ground in some of these pictures, just laying on the ground. It's horrible.
The evidence of apparent atrocities in Bucha came as Human Rights Watch announced that it has documented allegations of war crimes in the occupied areas. Problem is, none of this is going to make Putin leave power. And so you can call war crimes all you want, but until he's not in power anymore, it's not going to make a difference in his life.
Yeah. Maybe
it goes down in history as a horrible human being. But in his present day life, it's not going to make one bit of difference. And at some point, we got three choices. Continue this war forever. Make peace with a man who's a war criminal. And give him a piece of Ukraine that he doesn't deserve. Or kill him.
Yeah.
Those are our three choices. I think of all three, it's going to end up, you got to shake a hand of a war criminal.
Dang.
And by the way, Biden administration, they announced that they're going to overhaul the U.S. asylum system. We were talking about it a little before with Title 42. But what they're going to do now is when you go for your interview, for your credible fear, whether you come into an airport or at the border between Mexico and the United States, they're going to empower the immigration officers there to not only give a credible fear interview to determine whether or not you should even move to the next step of filing an asylum application, but rather than stupidly saying, okay, now you're going to go tell your story to a judge and we're going to wait, you're going to tell the story to me right now at this very moment. We're going to take your asylum application right now at this very moment and we're going to make a decision right here on the spot. So it'll do two things. One, it's going to make the processing go faster. Two, it's going to make a lot more denials because no one's going to have access to a lawyer. But at least they're going to process people. But according to the new rules, you still will get the chance to see the immigration judge on a limited basis if your asylum case is denied. My concern with when I read this is that you're a migrant at the border. You're somebody escaping, a country for your life, even at the airport. You have no access to a lawyer, and you have to now be prepared after traveling, living on the ground, traveling up from Central America, escaping for your life, to go tell a story, maybe in a different language than you're used to, and be able to be credible and real without the help of ever speaking to a lawyer about even knowing what you have to say, what you have to prove. Yes, it will streamline everything, but I think at the expense of a lot of people's rights.
Yeah.
And Biden, what do you think of this, Jonathan? Because this affects you.
Okay.
Biden wants to give 20% tax all households that make more than $100 million, 20%. If you have if you have assets over $100 million, you should pay a minimum tax of 20% on all of your assets. That would be billions and billions and billions of dollars from basically billionaires who pay, as a percentage of their income, one of the lowest tax rates, not only in the United States, but around the world, as a percentage of their income, because they have all these tax loopholes. I don't mind it. I think they should.
I think they should too.
I have no problem redistributing wealth.
Yeah.
I think that Jeff Bezos, who has $100 billion,
Right.
if he has $80 billion left after this tax,
He's still okay.
I still think he'll be okay.
He's still okay.
All right? I mean, let's say you have $100 billion.
Yeah.
So you get $20 billion and you're still left with $80 billion?
You're okay. Okay?
Is that okay? Do you think they'll be okay?
Yes.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And people are like, I don't know if this is fair or not. What do you mean you don't know if it's fair? How is it fair that Jeff Bezos wakes up one morning and, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't work hard for his money. I'm not saying he's not a brilliant man. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be a billionaire.
Right.
But to turn around and say, I woke up one morning because the stock market went up, I'm now worth $11 billion more.
It's like, come on.
Yeah. You know, at some point, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
And part of the new budget that Biden is, so I hope that passes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and part of the budget that Biden wants to pass is $30 billion for law enforcement, $773 billion for U.S. military. You know, the United States spends close to $1 trillion on our military. And for the first time in years and years and years, fund the USCIS.
Oh.
$765 million to hire new officers and new people to process paperwork to eliminate USCIS backlogs. Because right now, USCIS is based on user fees. People pay a filing fee, and it's that filing fee that pays all the salaries of people at USCIS. The United States government doesn't give one penny to USCIS. Can you imagine? And people have to wait 6, 7, 8 months for a work permit? 2.5 years for their spouse?
That's horrible.
You spend $773 billion on the military. You can pull $765 million out to make everyone's lives
Absolutely.
better. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I like her.
I do
Smart
too.
lady.
Yes.
Yeah. She's expected to be confirmed this week. Senate Republicans and Democrat leaders both agree she's well qualified. It's going to be all Democrats, including Manchin and Sema in Arizona. They've all agreed to vote for her. Sinema, I keep calling it Sema. Sinema in Arizona. And as a matter of fact, there may be one or two Republicans who vote for her too, including Susan Collins up in Maine. So it'll pass 52, 53, 47, somewhere in there. You know the last Supreme Court nominee to almost have a unanimous vote? You got to go back to 1993, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 96-3.
Wow.
Since then,
I was wondering if it was her.
Since then, it started to slowly go down.
Sheesh.
Nobody got into the 90s. And it's been slowly down to where it's now. It's like 51, 49.
Yeah.
It's become extraordinarily political now.
Yeah.
But she's expected to become the first black female Supreme Court justice.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah. And what else do we have here? Coronavirus. If you're over 50, go get the 4th booster. That's what the CDC says.
The 4th booster.
I don't know. I took 3 already.
Really?
Yeah. So I've had 3. And I've had COVID. I may take it. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. Because I will. I will do it. I'm over 50, sadly. Sad as I don't like to think I am, but I am.
Right.
But I'm going to do it. I'm just not ready to do it at this moment.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot of medicine
in just like 2
in your
years.
body. You ready for Fuzzy Monday,
Yes,
Jonathan? Let's do it.
Let's get in it.
Let's do it. All right, Jonathan. An Instagram famous cat has escaped war-torn Ukraine and found safety and refuge in France and is now helping other animals in need, raising over $10,000 for animal relief.
Wow.
Yeah, his name is Stepan. Stepan has more than 1.2 million followers on Instagram, became popular thanks to his amusing photos and signature grumpy poses. His owner, Anna, is from Kharkiv, which was bombed, and the eastern part of Ukraine. It's unlivable city now. It was the second largest city in all of Ukraine. And she didn't post anything for 2 weeks, so people got scared.
Oh, that was her building, too.
Yeah, people got scared that something happened to her or something happened to Grumpy Cat Stepan. But she finally resurfaced 2 weeks later, and she made a long post that we got on the train from Kharkiv to Lvov. Lvov is on the western part of Ukraine. It was a 20-hour train ride. Then we followed to the border with Poland. At the border, we stood in line in a pedestrian crossing. There were about 5,000 people there. After 9 hours, we crossed the border, and that post received more than 500,000 likes. And you saw Grumpy Stepan in his little cat carry bag.
Oh.
And now that he and Anna are safe, Stepan began collecting money over PayPal last week to donate to 5 animal charities in Ukraine because a lot of people sadly left their animals behind.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, they left their animals behind. They left, either they got killed, they ran. So there's a lot of domesticated animals in the Ukraine with no homes now.
Right. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. So they raised over $10,000 to help these charities find new homes for many of these. These are not wild, these are domesticated animals that just got left. Happy Paw, You Animals, Mykolov Zoo, 12 Months, and Plushka. They will all help in a variety of ways, providing aid to all these domesticated animals that have been affected by the war. Now, Stepan, this grumpy cat here, was rescued when he was 1 month old and has lived in Ukraine his whole life. He went viral on TikTok in 2019, appearing with his famous glass of red wine with Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You playing in the background. And he even caught the eye of Britney Spears, who reposted Stepan on Britney's Instagram.
Wow.
And staying in Ukraine, Jonathan, the internet is swooning over an adorable dog tasked by the Ukrainian military to sniff out and locate Russian mines.
Wow.
Yes, a cute snap of patron, I guess, which translates to bullet in English.
Oh.
Yeah, bullet. That sounds like a
Patron.
that sounds like a good name for a dog
For a-
sniffer,
yeah,
right?
especially a Jack
Look how
Russell.
cute he is.
Oh, he
yeah,
is so cute.
Yeah, he was initially posted to Reddit forum Dogs with Jobs, and it's been shared elsewhere. The picture shows Bullet. There he is, who appears to be a Jack Russell Terrier. That was a good quote by you, Jack Russell Terrier. Yeah, donning a tiny Ukrainian military vest. And it was later reposted on Imgur. I don't know what Imgur is. I have no idea. Where it's revealed that Patron, or Bullet, is 2 years old, likes cheese, and likes finding Russian landmines.
Look at him finding it.
Yeah, he finds the Russian landmines.
Oh.
Yeah, so someone wrote We don't deserve dogs and their faithful love.
Right.
Another wrote, of course, they use a Jack Russell. If the bomb goes off, it'll run out the blast. Jack Russells are fast, I assume.
They are very
Very
fast.
fast, yeah.
Yeah.
And someone else wrote he deserves the best cheese for his work.
Right. Get him the best
Right.
cheese.
And Jonathan, the oldest turtle, is still alive. Turning
This is
100.
crazy.
That's crazy.
190.
190 years old turtle.
It's almost 200 years old.
Can you imagine?
Like
it's
what?
lived. This turtle was born before the Civil War.
There's pictures of it like in the 1800s.
This turtle was born when Andrew Jackson was still alive.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's in the 1800s.
In the 1800s. All these great-grandchildren maybe are alive who are...
Like what?
Yeah, it's recognized by the Guinness World Record as the world's oldest tortoise.
It looks.
It was born in Seychelles. It looks like ugly.
Yeah.
It is an ugly old tortoise.
I mean,
but this thing
look at
lives.
it.
This thing lives.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's turning 190 years old. And Jonathan, by the way, still currently holds the oldest record at 189. Jonathan, the tortoise, keeps beating his own record. So I thought his backstory was kind of interesting. He was originally from the Seychelles, which is in the Indian Ocean.
Look how big it is.
Before he was brought to St. Helena Island, part of the British Overseas Territory in the South Atlantic Ocean. And records say that when he arrived in St. Helena in 1882,
look at it.
he was fully mature. So if he was fully mature in 1882, that means, according to experts, that a fully mature tortoise must be at least 50 years old.
Wow.
Which means that in 1882, if he was at least 50, they mark his birth minimally in 1832. Maybe he's even older than that.
Sheesh.
No one knows exactly when he was born.
Could you imagine to see that many years and see like how everything has changed? I wonder. I wish like we could talk to it. I wish it could just tell us how life was back then.
Like, there were no lights, there was no
Right,
cell phone,
like-
there was no car. When this tortoise was
Right.
born, there was no trains,
That's
there was no
crazy.
car, there
That's
was no
crazy.
records, there was no photographs.
None of that.
They would have candlelight and some guy on an easel
Wow.
painting pictures.
That's insane.
That's insane,
That's
right?
insane.
Well, despite his age, Jonathan is still very healthy and has a good hearing skills.
Wow.
He's older, Jonathan, than the Eiffel Tower.
Sheesh.
And the world's oldest tortoise still loves to stroll around the gardens together with 3 other giant tortoises named David, Fred. He looks like he has an old man face,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
He does.
Yeah, David, Fred, and Emma. So happy, Jonathan.
We share the same
You and
birthday,
Jonathan the tortoise share the
Yes.
same birthday.
That tortoise is an Aries. I could feel it.
All right, so that's our fuzzy news for the day,
Nice.
Jonathan.
Nice.
We got to get to our immigration questions. But in this edition of TikTok Time, I explain what to expect during a citizenship interview. Let's watch. Expect to go through your entire naturalization application. This is where any issues of good moral character, you have criminal records, prior arrests, issues with selective service, bring your tax returns. They want to make sure that you've paid your taxes and filed your taxes. Unless, of course, you weren't working, then you'll have to explain how you supported yourself. Then at that point, they may ask you some questions about how you got your green card. They want to make sure there was no fraud in the green card application. And thereafter, you'll take your government and civics test. They'll ask you to read and write English to make sure that you can read and write English. You pass the government civics test, and then they will say, congratulations. You will get a notice to be sworn in shortly thereafter. Good luck. All right, it's meat and potatoes time, Jonathan.
Finally.
You ready? I'm hungry.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Ian. Meat and potatoes. It's dinner time. All right. Kieran. I don't know, where's Kieran from?
Good evening, Mr. Brad.
How are you, Kieran? Where are you from? They didn't tell me.
Oh, New York.
New York, Kieran from New York.
Hey.
New York. You can make it in New York, Kieran. You can make it anywhere. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's your question?
I have a story that you guys gonna like.
I have a story we're gonna like. All right.
Yeah, so-
all right. Let's hear the story.
Sit with me a little.
I don't
I'm a
have
little
all the time,
nervous.
but okay, we'll stay with you a little bit. See what the story
Yeah,
is.
so about 9 months ago, I come to you
Uh-oh. Well, I
about
like
the
the story.
immigration. Yes.
Okay.
And so you advised me about my case, and I do exactly what you told me to do. And today I could raise my hand and say, "Thank God I come to you. My case approved."
Ah! Congratulations, Karen. Do you want to share what your case is, or is that too private?
No, I want to share.
What was your case? What
2
happened?
minutes. I'm not going to take long.
What happened?
So the thing I can say, I come to you, which is previous before you. I go to 2 lawyers and they couldn't help me.
Right.
So I come to you. You tell me get married with my wife, and we do the exact thing you tell us to do, and less than a year, 8 months.
Wow. Fabulous.
I get you.
So you have your green card.
I got the approval letter.
All right, so the approval for the adjustment means your green card's in the mail in a few days. Congratulations. Man's
Thank
happy
you.
man today. Congratulations, Karen, and thank you for calling.
I'm happy till I nervous, but I want to give a special thanks
Yeah.
to this attorney in your firm.
Who?
Her name is Emily.
Oh, she's the best.
I want to give,
They're all the
trust
best, but
me,
Emily's the best.
She's a genius.
Yes.
She's
Wow.
a genius. And trust me, I have to call her name. I hope she don't kill me.
Nah,
But trust me, she's a genius. You guys are doing a fantastic job because all hopes was gone from me. All
Wow.
hopes. I think I couldn't. I go through so much disappointment with this. This is my 3rd lawyer. You guys make it the 3rd, and you guys really come true for me. So I would have to call today to tell you guys thanks. And all they're going through their immigration problem, Spar and Burst team is the place.
Oh, wow.
to
Thank
fix
you very
all
much.
this immigration problem.
That's really nice, Karen. Thank you very much for calling. You know, it's,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I
Thank
can't
you.
even get to tell you how many people go to other lawyers and then come to us and we end up fixing it. But it's a great story. You went to 2 other people. You had
very
no
much.
hope.
Thank you.
And we fixed it. So congratulations.
Okay, so
Thank
my
you for
wife
calling.
I want to ask you one question, and that's
Sure. You know what? After that, of course, I'll be happy to answer a question.
it. Yes.
We're supposed to be traveling shortly. If he doesn't get his green card in the mail,
He can't travel on the advanced parole anymore because he's a lawful resident. So if he can't get his green card in the mail and you have a plane ticket, we could always bring you down to the local office and get a temporary stamp in his passport to travel with. It would be an I-551 stamp.
okay then.
All right. So
All right,
one way or the
thank
other,
you,
he'll
guys.
travel. All right?
All right then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a nice call. I didn't know what that was going to be. He's like, I have a story to tell. I'm like, uh-oh. All right, Zara in Land O'Lakes, Florida. Zara,
Yes, hi.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So I'm a U.S. citizen. My sister, she came on a B-2 visa. Her intention was not to stay in the U.S., but she broke up with her fiancé, and now she changed her plans to stay here in the U.S. Is there any way I can petition for her and adjust her status while she is in the USA?
Not as a sister, you can't. Because if a sister, you would file in the F4 category. There's about a 15-year wait. So you can file for her, but she would not be able to adjust. She would end up being undocumented for more than a decade. So that's not a good option. I don't know what the option is for your sister, but I would suggest at a bare minimum, let's have a consultation. Let's figure it out.
Okay.
But I don't think you filing for her is a good option. All right.
So if I file for her and she stays, even if she wants to stay here for 15
She
years,
would be undocumented for 15 years. And who knows what the law will be in 15 years from now.
Okay, but while so once I file for her, let's say I did and I filed for her, she will be legally here in the USA,
No,
right?
she would be
But she doesn't have.
she would be undocumented. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
She would be. I don't like to use the word illegal, but to make it very clear to you, because nobody's illegal. But I'm just gonna. So it's very clear to you, she would be illegal, undocumented.
Okay, but you think there's a way to keep
I
her
I
here?
have no idea, but hold on one second, okay? I don't know enough about her, but hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Marie in Queens. Hi, Marie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just calling to find out. I came to the country in February. I got legally as a legal resident, but I need to leave the country. But I didn't get my green card as yet.
Well, did they stamp your passport when you came into the United States?
Yes, I have my green card number and everything.
Okay, and it says I-551 or something to that effect, right?
Yes,
okay.
it did.
And it's probably good for 1 year, I would presume, correct?
Yes, it says 1 year.
All right, so as long as you travel within that 1 year, that stamp you can travel with.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Bye.
Let's go to Henry in Clearwater, Florida. Hi, Henry.
It's Kenrick.
Clearwater,
Hello?
Florida.
Yeah, Kenrick. Are you hearing me?
Oh, Kenrick. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's Kenrick. How are you, Kenrick?
I'm good. So, January the 18th, it's going to be 5 years since I get my green card. I want to know how soon can I apply for naturalization?
This January 18th, 2023?
Yes.
October to November, November to December. Let's call it October 25th, 2022, which will be 80 some odd days before your 5-year anniversary. Because you can file for your naturalization up to 90 days before your 5-year anniversary. I'm doing math in my head, which I'm very bad at. So let's call it October 25th, but maybe it's even the 24th or 23rd. You can count 90 days on the calendar. But I'm going to tell you October 25th.
Okay.
All right.
And yeah, how long the process take?
At the moment, citizenship's not taking long. It's about 6-7 months these days.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Good luck. All right. Let's go to Kenny in St. Thomas, Jamaica. Kenny.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good day. So the question I have is about the age out test, right? So my dad is a legal permanent resident, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he filed the petition in 2020, April, right? At that time I was 19, right? So the case was approved since I was 21, like shortly after my 21 birthday in October, right? So the fee and everything is paid.
So like, you should still be in the F2A category if you paid the fee within 1 year of the approval of the I-130.
Okay. And another question is, all the documents have been sent into NVC on January 2020. How long is it after they would reach out to say that this document are qualified?
That I don't know. They're very backlogged right now. There's approximately 400,000 people who are documentarily qualified who don't have interviews yet around the world. Can you imagine that? Almost 500,000 people are DQ'd and still don't have an interview. So there's a huge backlog. But based on what you told me, I haven't seen the paperwork, but based on what you told me, it sounds to me that you're under the Child Status Protection Act and should be in the F2A category.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. Franklin in Newark, New Jersey.
Yes, Brad, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Brad, I filed for VAWA, I think a year and 6 months now, so I received a mail from USCIS that they are processing my I-485 application. So they said they're using the previous fingerprint and biometrics.
Great.
So what does that mean? Does it mean that my
it means
I-360 is being approved?
No. It means that they're using your biometrics that you previously did. So you took a fingerprint at some point in the past. They're using that because they keep record. The biometrics is now everything's electronic, so they don't need to keep re-fingerprinting you with the old ink way. You know, you take your hand and put it in ink and then put it on the white piece of paper. Everything's electronic, so they take it once, they use it forever. You would know if your I-360 is approved if you filed concurrently a work permit under C-31 on the I-360. They would mail you a work permit under C-31. So if you have a work permit under C-31, you would know your I-360 is approved. Other than that, just wait on an approval notice and hopefully it'll come soon.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Rilwan in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I had my naturalization interview in September 2021.
Right.
And I got approved. But they asked me if I want to change my name. I said, yeah, I just changed my name. Because there was a mixed up with my middle name. So I changed my middle name to my last name. And until now, I don't have a date for my naturalization oath ceremony.
How do you know you were approved?
So is there anything
how do you know you were approved? They said you were approved?
Yeah, they said I was approved and they gave me a paper.
Uh-huh.
And they said I'm in line for naturalization ceremony.
If you don't get sworn in, by the summer, by June or July, we could always threaten a mandamus that they approved you. They got to swear you in to become a citizen.
Okay.
All right.
So how do I do that?
You come see me. If June or July come and you don't swear in, come see me.
All right, thank you.
You can't do that on your own. Let's go to Keon in Boston.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm calling with an immigration question for my friend.
Sure.
Yes, he's living in Jamaica. February 2001, he went to England, which he took drugs, and he was arrested, and he was sent home November 2003.
When you say he took drugs, he was smuggling drugs into the country, or he took ingested drugs and he was high on drugs? What do you mean by he took drugs?
He was smuggling into the country.
Okay.
Yes, so, and then he got deported back to Jamaica. But in 2012, his mom filed for him, and the filing went through, and he went to the embassy.
He got denied.
And then he got denied.
Right.
So we're wondering if, because she didn't use a lawyer when she was putting in the paperwork.
If she went to a lawyer, the lawyer would have told her she's wasting her time, sadly. Because you're one and done when you come to drug trafficking. So what the law says is if you are a suspected drug trafficker, in this case he's not suspected, he was, because he was convicted, he was found with drugs in his possession crossing a border. If you are a suspected past, present, or future drug trafficker, then that bars you forever from entering the United States with a green card, with a visa, with anything. Permanent bar. No waiver, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So that's a waste of time for him to try again.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you so much. That answered my question.
Okay.
That's okay. Have a good one.
You too. Let's go to Mo in Queens. Mo.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm being a beneficiary on my father's I-130, and I'm over 21 years of age. So my question is, if there is I overstayed my visa, so if there is a I-601A to file for a 10-year ban to be removed, is there any other form or anything that I have to file before I go to a visa interview in the embassy for illegal working?
No. How did you come to the United States?
With the B2 visa.
Okay. And you don't have any criminal record, right?
No criminal record.
So the only
nothing
thing
like that.
wrong you did was overstay your visa and work undocumented.
Yes, after 1 year of
okay, so the
remaining.
601A waives your 10-year bar. There is no bar to undocumented employment in the United States. So you don't need a waiver for that. You just need a waiver for the unlawful presence. As long as you didn't work within the first 90 days of your entry, then that would be a misrepresentation.
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay, then you're sound. If you get the 601A waiver, you're good to go.
All right, and may I ask one more question?
Yes.
So if I get married after my father becomes citizen, and he filed at the time when he was a green card holder for me as a single son, will my wife be another beneficiary?
At some point, but you probably set yourself back another decade of waiting for a green card.
All right, thank you so much.
So honestly, I know you love the woman, but save yourself and get a green card.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then when
Thank
you get your
so-
green card, then marry her and file for her. It'd be faster for her too.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your help. Bye.
Let's go to Yanel did in Brooklyn.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good night. I appreciate your program.
My
I have
pleasure.
a quick question.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for you. I'm married. I got married in Dominican Republic, and I'm living here in the United States in my ex-wife too, and I got divorced over there. And I was told from somebody that certificate, USCIS don't recognize that. I want to know if that is true.
It depends. If neither you or your ex-wife were living in the Dominican Republic and you just did this over online or through the mail or however you did it, they're not going to recognize it because you didn't have any standing in the Dominican Republic to be divorced. If you were living in the Dominican Republic, or your ex-wife was living in the Dominican Republic, and you had both physical presence, or one of you had certain amount of physical presence, I don't remember the exact amount of time you had to be in the Dominican Republic for a divorce. I'm not an expert in Dominican divorce law, but I do know that you had to be physically there for a period of time in order to do the divorce. Where people get screwed up is that the wife and the husband are both in the U.S., and they say, oh, you can do a divorce faster in the Dominican Republic. You do it through the mail, you do it online, however you do it, but neither of you were actually in the Dominican Republic, so therefore it's actually an illegal divorce in the Dominican Republic, which would make your divorce, you're still married to your ex-wife. So it depends on the facts of the case.
Okay. And there's something that I can do about that?
Yes, if what you describe, what I just described is what it was, then you live in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah.
Assuming you've lived in Brooklyn you've lived in New York for more than 2 years, right?
Yes.
Then do your divorce right here in New York City, because you have standing in New York City to do it because you've been living as a resident in New York City for the last 2 years. Do your divorce again here. If you do your divorce, for example, in Manhattan, and you can pick any county to do your divorce. If you live in New York City, you can pick Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx. The fastest right now is Manhattan. You'll probably be divorced in 6 months.
Oh, and the only problem with that, I won't be able to get a certificate of marriage to do that, and I think I'm gonna need that.
What do you mean you need a certificate of marriage? I don't understand.
Yeah, because as I got divorced in Dominican Republic,
You don't need the certificate of marriage to do a divorce. You just have to know the information. What was the name of the woman I was married to? What's her birthday?
Okay.
But you don't need the certificate of marriage. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to Brian in Pulaski, Virginia. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brad.
How are you?
Yeah. I have like three questions in one.
Okay.
I am a U.S. citizen, and my brother is visiting on a B2 visa. I am 33. He's 30. Is it possible for me to adjust his status from non-immigrant to someone who's immigrated?
No, we actually just had that question earlier in the show. It's about a 15-year wait. So if you're a brother and want to file for an adult brother, it's a 15-year wait. You would file an I-130 visa petition. He would be put on a waiting list. He would need to stay in legal status for 15 years, which is virtually impossible. At some point, he would fall out of status, be undocumented, and wait 15 years, and at the end, not be able to adjust his status. Not a great option.
Okay. So is it possible for me to do an adjustment of status for my mother who's back home, and attach her application, his application to hers?
No, you can file a visa petition for your mother back home. She would get a green card in about a year and a half as an immediate relative, but you cannot include children on that application. And even if you could, your brother's over 21 and would have fallen off anyway.
Okay, so if she becomes a green card holder, can she then apply later?
Yes, but that would be probably a 6-7 year wait, which is a lot better than 15, but still a long time.
Okay, and is it faster for my mom to be here, wait 90 days, and then apply for an adjustment, or
it would be faster for your mother to come with the purpose of visiting, and then change her mind 90 days later and adjust her status and waiting back in whatever country she's in.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
All right. Let's go to Kian in Brooklyn.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have a question for a friend. So he has a 10-year green card. His daughter came to the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa. She's 11 years old and she's out of status. He wants to know if he can file for her.
Yes. Where's the mother?
She's over here, but she's not in status. But he has a 10-year green card.
Okay. How did he get his green card?
Through marriage.
Well, yeah. If does the wife want to sponsor him, she can adjust her status immediately. So if his wife files for the adjustment as a stepmother for this 11-year-old child, this 11-year-old child can adjust status immediately. If the father's going to do it, he would file an I-130 visa petition, get it approved. She would go back to her home country and return. So it's much better if the stepmother's willing to do it. If not, then yes, the father can do it.
Oh, but if he does it, she would have to go back to Jamaica to get her green card.
If she's from Jamaica, yes, because he's a green card holder. If the stepmother does it, she can adjust here.
Okay.
But it's no big deal to go back. She's only 11. They're not going to hold her. But yes, it's easier.
Okay.
It's just easier to do it here.
Okay, because I know normally they say, like, if you go back, you probably, since she has been out of status, it
No,
would
because
probably
she's
be
11
like,
years old. They can't hold that against her. Okay. How could they hold that against an 11-year-old? So up until
she didn't have a choice.
She had no choice, right? So up until 18, what you just said is not true. So as long as you leave the United States before 18, they don't hold any immigration violation against the child.
Okay.
So yes, she can do it, go home and come back. But yeah, it's easier and faster if the stepmother's willing to do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's go to Morgan in Ocean City, Maryland.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, currently in the United States on a J1 visa.
Right.
And I want to know if it's possible to get married to my girlfriend and how is the process going to work?
Do you have a 2-year home residence requirement?
No.
On your visa, let's just make sure. Does it say bearer is subject to Section 212E or bearer is not subject?
Not subject.
So then you just have a regular visa, entry on a J visa. Where are you from? What country?
From Ghana.
From Ghana. And how long you been here?
2 months.
Okay, I would wait another month. At least wait 90 days, then get married, and you can adjust your status immediately. Provided it's a bona fide marriage, obviously.
Yeah. And how long is the process?
About a year.
Okay. And what about if I'm going to be out of status? Is it going to affect my application?
No.
Okay.
You still got to wait the 90 days.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay. Mo in Reno, Nevada.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I do. How are you?
Yep. Okay, doing well, thank you. I really appreciate you responding to our questions, so thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Just really, I came to the U.S. on L1A visa, and I got my I-140 approved, and my I-485 has been pending now for about 500 days.
Mm-hmm.
I want to move to a new employer, and my understanding that I can move, but just my question for you is, if I moved my current employer, if they decided to withdraw the petition, is this going to cause a problem for me?
No, you're allowed to move 180 days after your adjustment is pending, provided the I-140 is approved. And then as long as, here's the caveat, as long as you are in the same job with the same job description, getting paid the similar salary or higher salary. So if you got sponsored as an engineer and now you're going to work in a flower shop, it's not going to work out for you.
No, the job is the same. It's the same.
Same job description, same salary or higher salary. And
it's a higher salary.
And all your new employer would have to do is give a detailed job description letter that this is your job, these are your job duties, and it matches the job duties described on the I-140 for the L1 for the visa petition and the L1A because you're an executive or manager of something.
Yep.
And as long as it's the same job description, same industry, everything else, you're good to go.
Okay. Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Arif in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, so I have this situation where in 2019 I got married, and the person I got married to, we now share a child. But after we got married, we didn't submit any papers. So now we are in a course of divorce.
Right.
And I'm here and
why are you getting divorced?
So
what happened?
We having trouble in the relationship. So
what's the trouble?
That's why we have to split.
What's the trouble?
Okay, so the mother, we have major disagreements, and
well, all right. This is, you're not really describing much. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay.
Right.
You have a child together, so obviously it's a real marriage. You have you got three choices.
Yeah, okay.
Choice one is get divorced. It is what it is. Marriage didn't work out. Go out into the world. Get on Tinder. Get on Match.com. Find a new wife.
Right.
Find a new love. Retry again.
Okay.
Option one. Option two is you can file a VAWA case, an abuse case, within 2 years of a divorce. A VAWA case would be you're in a bona fide marriage, which you were because you had a child together, and the marriage broke up because your wife was physically abusive, or you were the subject of extreme emotional abuse, which is day after day after day, manipulation,
Verbal
using
abuse?
power over you, cursing at you,
Verbal
screaming
abuse
at you,
also?
verbal abuse, embarrassing you, making you feel bad about yourself. We can go on and on and on, but extreme emotional abuse is consistently day after day. If that's what she was doing, then maybe you have a VAWA case.
Oh, okay. And three?
Get back together with her. Send flowers and chocolates.
Okay. And so can she put me on like child support?
She can do whatever she wants. It's your child, and she has a right to request child support. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. And she has an obligation to support his child. Novelet in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hello, good evening, good night.
Good night.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I would like to ask a question. I put in my kids' them paper. I'm a citizen here.
Right.
I put in my kids' them paper. They said they're on review now. How long do it take for review?
Who's saying it's on review?
The visa. The
National
NVC.
Visa Center?
Yes.
Or USCIS? I don't know where you're at with your case.
National Visa Center.
It's on review. Review could mean 3 months or 3 years.
Wow. So it's on review for 3 months now.
All right, I would wait. You'll be lucky if it's another 3 months. Hopefully it's on review in less than a year. Depends what your priority.
They're in Jamaica.
It depends your
They're in
priority
Jamaica.
date. It depends what category is. It's Jamaica. Jamaica's extraordinarily backed up.
Yeah.
Sadly. Gonna wait.
Okay.
Hang in there.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Have a blessed night.
Too. I liked her music in the background. She was very, very chill. All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram. And if you follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein, you can drop me a direct message, and I'll try to answer your question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You follow us at Brad Show Live. You don't like 2 hours of Brad and Yo-Yo, but 30 seconds is more your speed. Follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live for the best highlights of our show. And of course, you could also follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. We're about under a year about to hit 100,000 organic followers and about almost there, almost up to 1 million likes.
Yep.
It's our fastest growing social media platform. You can leave your question in the comments section, and maybe you're lucky enough that I respond to you and give you a personalized video answering your question for the whole world to see. And Yo-Yo.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, we are going to hear the first part of my discussion with Marianna Treviño-Wright, the Executive Director for the National Butterfly Center located in the lower Rio Grande Valley. Now, Marianna joins me to explain why the Nature Preserve had to announce in February of this year that it has to close down due to safety concerns.
Ooh.
But it's safety concerns from other politicians. You won't want to miss this. It's not politicians that like Joe Biden. It's politicians who like the pumpkin.
The pumpkin, absolutely.
Let's watch that.
And squad, now we are going to see if you have been paying attention in a new segment called Bradshaw Live Pop-Up Quiz. All right, so I want you to give your answers in the comments, and let's see who gets this right.
What does RFE mean? Is it A, request for evidence, B, request for employment, C, request for expedited service, or D, request for eligibility? The answer is A. RFE means request for evidence. USCIS will send an RFE on a given application if it needs more information to finish processing the application. When USCIS sends someone an RFE, it means they did not submit all the required evidence, the evidence submitted is no longer valid, or the officer needs more information to determine your eligibility. Okay, but do not worry, an RFE does not necessarily mean your application will be denied. In fact, according to the USCIS, in the second quarter of the fiscal year 2020, the odds of approval after an RFE were 68.2%, up nearly 10% from the same quarter in the fiscal year of 2019.
I have to say, everybody got it right.
You
Both
guys
on YouTube, everyone who answered on YouTube and Facebook both got it right.
You guys have been listening.
I am glad that there's some learning going on here, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I feel there's learning going on here.
I agree. I agree.
All right, you ready to social media check-in?
I'm ready. I
for
got 'em.
everybody's issues, problems, questions, and concerns of the day. Let's do it, Ian.
Anderson Smith on Facebook. When a naturalized citizen applies for their parents to come to the U.S., how long does the process take? And once they arrive in the U.S., how long would it take for them to get their documents, green card, etc., and how soon can they travel back to their home country?
What country are they from, and are they single or married? And how old are they?
Just says the apply. Doesn't say none of that.
All right, so if the children are under 21, it's about a year and a half. If they are over 21 and single, about 7 years, 8 years, and if they are over 21 and married, about 15 years.
Ashu on YouTube. My fiance is out of status and we're planning to get registered for marriage. Will there be any issue in the future if he registers his name in court?
No.
Sharon Thomas on Facebook. How long does it take for the F3 category? It's been 10 years. How much longer?
5 more.
Marv on Facebook. If I filed for citizenship after being married for 3 years and 6 months, then got a divorce after 4 years and 7 months, why don't I qualify for citizenship under marriage if I was still married at the time of filing?
Because you have to prove it's a bona fide marriage up until the day you swear in. And there's a difference between, people have to understand this, Jonathan. There's, I'm legally married, I'm in a real marriage, and I'm in a bona fide marriage. Let's get this straight once and for all.
All right.
Okay, legally married means you got a marriage certificate. That doesn't entitle you to citizenship on 3 years. In a real marriage means that it's a legitimate relationship. You guys are in a legitimate relationship. Real marriage doesn't entitle you to citizenship after 3 years. In a bona fide marriage entitles you to citizenship. And there's a definition of what a bona fide marriage is. It means you physically live together every day, you have a financial relationship. And if you do that for 3 years, including through your citizenship, through the day you swear in, you get to be a citizen early. If not, you got to wait the 5 years. How's that?
That's perfect. Selassie Morgan Samafo on YouTube. What's the process to change from a J1 visa to a marriage-based green card?
Get married to a U.S. citizen, file an adjustment. I assume that's what they're doing.
Rilwan Kamar on YouTube. I went for my naturalization interview last year in September and I passed. I was asked if I wanted to change my name. I said yes, but ever since my status is saying in line for the oath ceremony, what should I do?
I think he called on the show. I told him wait till the summer. If he hasn't heard anything, we'll do a
okay, I remember that. Okay, Anonymous Striker.
Yes, we saw that was a new person. Yes,
that was a new person on YouTube. I got my travel document through VAWA.
Great.
Can I fly inside the U.S. without any risk? And what about outside the U.S.?
No risk inside the U.S., no risk outside the U.S.
B-Man on Facebook. I'm a 33-year-old U.S. citizen. My 30-year-old brother is on a tourist visa. Can I apply to adjust his status for a green card while he's here?
I think he also called and answered that question.
Janet Morgan on YouTube. Can I apply for a VAWA EAD C09 extension for 6 months in advance rather than waiting for auto renewal?
You can do it about 4 months in advance.
Dainty Chili Right on Facebook. If you did your biometrics over 8 months ago and still didn't receive a work permit, what can you do next?
Wait.
Igbeen FA on Facebook. How can I file for my children overseas as a derivative as a green card holder, and how long does it take?
If it depends. If you adjusted your status here, you have to do an I-824 to transfer the file to the National Visa Center and then process them back at the U.S. Embassy. If you got your green card at the U.S. Embassy, call the U.S. Embassy. Contact them, email them, write them. I want to bring my children, file to join. So it depends. Figure it's about 2 years.
Natalie de Leseluc on Facebook. I'm a U.S. citizen living in Canada as a PR with my Canadian husband and dual citizen kids. I'm days away from being able to apply for citizenship here, but thinking long term, we all want the same passports. Can I file for an I-130 since the wait time is 4 to 36 months, but then go no further in process until we are all Canadian, or do we need to plan to live in the U.S. right away?
You can file the I-130 and you can delay the final processing at the U.S. Embassy. That's fine.
Gold Spoon Up on YouTube. If your I-130 was approved and you file your I-485 form from 2020 and you haven't received any news yet, what can you do?
Who, what, where, when, and how?
So if your I-360 was approved and you file your I-485 from 2020 and you haven't received any news yet, what can you do?
Contact the USCIS, contact a good lawyer. I don't know what's going on with your case.
Demba Sal asking 4 times. Demba Sal was like, please, please,
all right,
please.
All right, I'll do it.
Yes, Demba Sal on Facebook. My family petition was approved in 2018, and in December 2022, they interviewed my family and their visa was approved by NVC. My lawyer did an application for humanitarian parole for my daughter, who was born in 2021. But the USCIS denied the case because they say there is no evidence to when or with whom she came to the USA, which is my spouse. And the lawyer appealed the case, but they denied that also. What's your suggestion as to what we should do next?
Where's the child now? Say that one more time. Give me this question again.
My family petition was approved in 2018, and in December 2022, they interviewed my family and their visa.
I don't know who sponsored where they interview or anything. Continue, though.
Okay. Their visa was approved by NVC.
Okay.
My lawyer did an application for humanitarian parole for my daughter, who was born in 2021. But the USCIS denied the case because they say there is no evidence to when or with whom she came to the USA with, which was with her spouse. And then the lawyer appealed the case.
I'm not sure where this child was born.
So the child wasn't born in the US, I don't think. It was.
But who sponsored who?
It just says my family petition was approved.
She was sponsored by a U.S. citizen husband?
It doesn't say that. It just says that the kid came to the USA with her spouse. And
She's the U.S. citizen, Demba Sal?
I don't know.
The kid's here now? How'd the kid come here?
With the spouse.
How?
I don't know.
Demba Sal.
And this was a long question.
There's
certain things that you still need to
How
give.
did this child come here? Who sponsored who? Is this a marriage case?
Yeah, we need a little bit more.
Yeah. Dembasau, I want to help. But it sounds like you need a lawyer anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like you need another one almost.
Yeah.
Because I think
I think
does.
so. But if the child's here, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Kevin Edwards on YouTube. It's my second time in 13 months the USCIS office rescheduled my case. Then 1 week before the interview, they canceled it. What's going on, and how many times can USCIS reschedule your case?
They can do it forever. It's called mandamus time if they keep rescheduling it.
Right. Dahlia Dixon on Facebook. I'm on an H-1 visa. My husband is on an H-4 visa. His EAD card expired after we changed status. I was told my husband cannot work unless either myself or he is sponsored. Is this so? Why, if so?
If she's on an H-4, he gets a work permit.
She's on an H-1. The husband is on an H-4.
Yeah. But
his EAD card expired.
But
and I was told that my husband cannot work unless either myself or he is sponsored.
No, renew his EAD card, and then he gets 180 days just on the renewal receipt, and then hopefully he gets his work permit. I don't know where you're getting that information.
Momsilo Stefanovic on YouTube. I overstayed my visa and remained in the U.S. ever since that moment. If I win the green card lottery, will I have to leave the U.S. to get my GCL visa, or will I be able to adjust my status without leaving?
Well, if you leave, you may have a 10-year bar. So that's number one. Number two, you may be 245I. So I don't know enough about your case.
Last one, Smith Day on Facebook. We did an extension in 2018, but it was denied. We overstayed for 90 days and we came home March 2019 when we found out. Since then, we have not traveled again. It's through the H-2B program. We got our documents. Do you think that we can go back to the embassy because it would be 3 years since we went back home?
What was the problem? What was the problem with being here?
Just that we did an extension in 2018, but it was denied, and then they overstayed for 90 days.
You can go back and try to get it, but I doubt that they would give it to you, but you could always try. Once you violate your status, they give you a very, very difficult time, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right, so Marianna Treviño-Wright is the executive director of the National Butterfly Center, a butterfly preserve established in 1995 in the lower Rio Grande Valley on the border of Texas and Mexico. Since 2017, the center has found itself in the middle of the border wall controversy, and in February 2022 announced it is closing indefinitely due to safety concerns. Marianna first appeared on the show in 2019 and has returned to update us on her present situation. Let's watch. The National Butterfly Center is an outdoor butterfly conservatory located in the Rio Grande Valley in Mission, Texas, on the United States-Mexico border. The center works to preserve the 340 species of butterflies found in the area through habitat restoration. It is home to the largest and most diverse concentration of butterflies in the United States of America. In 2017, the center found itself in the middle of the border wall controversy when it filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, alleging that federal officials had decided to build a border wall on the center's property without complying with existing law. Although President Biden halted construction of the border wall in January 2021 when he took office, right-wing conspiracy theories have made the preserve a focus of harassment, which has culminated in the National Butterfly Center announcing it was closing its doors indefinitely on February 3rd, 2022. Marianna Treviño-Wright is executive director of the National Butterfly Center. She appeared on Bradshaw Live in 2019 to discuss the border wall situation, and she is joining me again today to update us on the present situation. Thank you for coming on, Marianna. I know you're extraordinarily busy these days.
Hi, Brad.
First of all, tell everybody what the National Butterfly Center is.
So the National Butterfly Center is a project of the National North American Butterfly Association. It is a nonprofit dedicated to helping people understand and appreciate the role that wild, free-flying butterflies play in healthy ecosystems. Life on planet Earth depends on butterflies. We're a 100-acre botanical garden. We are NABA's only physical plant, and it is a habitat restoration project, as you mentioned, where we show people, if you plant it, they will come.
So how did you get involved with the National Butterfly Center? You're the executive director.
I am a business development specialist, and I was hired by NABA to turn what began as Dr. Jeffrey Glassberg's avocation into a sustainable enterprise. Even though it is a nonprofit, we need to make payroll. We need to have income so that we can not only have staff, but pay our water and electric bills and fulfill our mission and hopefully do that for another 20 years and beyond. So I was not a scientist or a butterfly lover necessarily, but I did see the value in this endeavor and wanted to be a part of it.
Now, your career started to make a U-turn when the National Butterfly Center sued the Trump administration in 2017. Why did the National Butterfly Center sue the Trump administration?
So on July 20th, 2017, more than 9 months before any congressional vote authorizing or appropriating funds for border wall, I found government contractors here, and they were cutting down our trees and mowing down our brush. And when I confronted them, they said the government sent us to clear this land for border wall. Well, it was President Trump's signature, campaign promise. And the government has the right of eminent domain to seize private property for construction projects. And we honestly believed they would go through the legal process and do that here. But instead, they just showed up. They had no right of entry request made or granted. They had not waived all of the laws that have to be waived for border wall construction. And they had not sent a letter of notice, much less filed a lawsuit against us for the seizure of our land. So we said, whoa, you have to follow the law. And they didn't respond to our inquiries and our pushback. There's a 60-day administrative period where you give the government notice of your intent to sue because of some issue. They didn't respond to that. So yes, we filed suit against the government.
You sued them for not following their own rules on how to take somebody's property.
Exactly.
They just came and took it. And we do that in immigration all the time. We always sue the government for not following their own rules. It's an Administrative Procedures Act claim. So you sued the government for not following the rules to clear the land to put up a wall. But why does it matter? What does the Butterfly Center care whether there's a wall put up on their property or not?
We are right on the border, and we are in a section of land in the Rio Grande Valley that has been designated for conservation since 1970. It's the Lower Rio Grande Valley Wildlife Conservation Corridor, where a remnant of native habitat, less than 5% of our native habitat remains in South Texas. The majority of it is in this section. And it's exactly the area that's being bulldozed for border wall construction. So they're eliminating the tiny bit of native habitat left to support our native wildlife species.
Let's watch a clip from 2019.
If we thought that this border wall, which is going to be built over 2 miles inland in some places in South Texas, would do anything at all to protect America, then we might support it. It's going to leave parts of the United States, including residential subdivisions, RV parks, churches, the National Butterfly Center, behind the border wall in this new no man's land, and everybody gets the gate code. So all of our members and 35,000 visitors each year are going to get the gate codes to the border wall. Doesn't this sound kind of preposterous? Each butterfly is intimately tied to 1 or 2 plant species. You eliminate the plant from the landscape equals eliminating the butterfly. So if we don't have butterflies, we don't have anything to pollinate the plants and grasses that remain. Eliminating vegetation from the earth leads to greater radiant heat temperatures, erosion, lack of water filtration, diminished air filtration, and we're doing this on the banks of a vibrant river that we call the Rio Grande, but in Mexico, it's called the Rio Bravo. It's a big, bold, wide, powerful river. And we're going to eliminate everything that holds the earth in place.
Okay, so that was in 2018. Let's fast forward. We're now in 2022, 4 years later. President Biden stopped the border wall construction, so you would think everything would be okay at the Butterfly Center. When he took office in 2021, he said no more border wall. But unfortunately for you, your staff, the butterflies, the environment, the situation is getting worse. What's going on?
So, yes, as you said, President Biden did, by executive order, the day he was inaugurated, halt all border wall construction. But this summer, he lifted that stay. And border wall construction is continuing today. It is not being reported, and it's not for lack of our trying. And we invite media here. We've been posting photos to our Twitter and Facebook. We're sending video clips out, but the right-wing media doesn't want to report it and let conservatives think, oh my gosh, Biden is building border wall? Then he must not be allowing this open border with everyone just pouring in. And the mainstream and left-wing media are not reporting it because they don't want Biden to get a black eye from Democrats and people who actually voted for him, many on his promise of not another foot of border wall. So if they were to learn that he's actually building border walls still, they would be appalled. And we actually need that. We need people to show up for us again.
So what happened with the lawsuit against Trump?
So our lawsuit against the Trump administration and Department of Homeland Security was summarily dismissed on February 14, 2019. We appealed that and won our appeal. Then the Justice Department under President Biden filed another motion to dismiss.
The Biden administration is still fighting you on this.
Yes. And that's because of the potential impacts of our lawsuit, which actually now involve our Fourth Amendment rights, our right to free access, enjoyment, and use of our property, to not have it seized de facto or otherwise without due process.
You've lived in this area, this Rio Grande Valley area, border between Texas and Mexico. Have you ever walked out into the Butterfly Center and say, wow, I feel really unsafe here?
Never. It is exactly the opposite.
So why is it that everybody's coming here and say, build a wall? What's going on with all of this? What do you think?
So we have to go back to that same time about in 2019. It was widely reported in May of 2019 that Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, told the Oval Office full of GOP senators, we solved the butterfly thing. We saw that reported and thought, well, what the hell does that mean?
How did Jared Kushner solve the butterfly thing?
Well, apparently he solved it by unleashing Trump's former special advisor, Steve Bannon, and his psychological operation against us.
They meaning Steve Bannon and these other right-wing conspiracy groups, I guess you would call them.
So Steve Bannon and the We Build the Wall frontman, Brian Colfage, came here and began using social media and their fake news websites like therundownnews.com, and asserting that the National Butterfly Center was a cartel front, that we were not about environmental education or conservation, that we were trafficking drugs and human beings across the property, and that we were selling women and children specifically into sex slavery. They were using media, including, Steve Bannon's War Room program. And of course, all of these things then got widely reported, including in like the New York Times and the CBS Evening News.
So you have protesters coming to the Butterfly Center, preventing people from coming to visit?
We did not have regular protesters. We had the militias.
Uh-huh. And this is all because you sued the Trump administration because you don't want a border wall going across your property.
Because they needed to follow their own laws.
Right.
Well, it actually has nothing to do with border wall. We fully expect border wall to be built here. We still expect the government to seize our land. The only thing was follow the law. But because we tried to hold them accountable, they targeted us. We embarrassed them. So they turned and unleashed fury on us, but also by using us as the villain, they raised millions of dollars in dark money that we now know helped fund things like Stop the Steal and the January 6th insurrection. Specifically, 2 of We Build the Wall's employees, Dustin Stockton and Jennifer Lawrence, have already testified before the January 6th committee about their involvement in all of this.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to hear more from Marianna about what led to the National Butterfly Center deciding to close indefinitely. All right, speed round. 10 questions, 50 seconds.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I feel confident today.
Ooh.
I feel extraordinarily confident.
Okay.
All right, I got to concentrate.
Yes.
Jill?
Can an American citizen be deported for owing child support if he travels abroad? Are I-751 cases part of the reform to be sped up by USCIS?
I don't know what reform you're talking about.
Where can you check on the status of your case?
USCIS.gov.
Will U visa EAD be invalid if I travel on a VAWA EAD?
No.
Will your case be denied if you marry a U.S. citizen but they are low income?
You would need a second affidavit of support.
When will VAWA applications from 2017 be adjusted by USCIS?
Now you're behind. I don't know what's going on with you.
How long does it take to file for U.S. citizenship?
About 6-8 months now.
Can I leave the country while my citizenship application is in progress?
Yes, but don't stay out for more than 6 months at a time.
Does a citation for parking in handicap spot affect the naturalization process application?
No.
What should I do if I lose my green card?
I-90.
Ooh! Oh,
we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. There you go. We did it. High five. What are we doing? Are we doing high five or fist bump? I said and I gave you a fist bump. I'm so excited to know what to do.
There we go.
There you go. All right, we're back one day. We did it. Malcolm Bowie here. All right.
What you talking about, Danity Brown? Boom. Oh, I hope you say like boom, yeah, but not boom. No explosion.
Yeah,
boom.
No. You can't say boom during speed round.
Right.
Boom during speed round that's bad.
Right.
Not bad isn't good, but bad isn't bad.
Right.
Balloons are good.
Yes.
Thank you, Carol. All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day.
All right, y'all. First comment of the day. Daryl Winnabout saying, it doesn't get better than this. Another week of listening to the best immigration show. Brad's show is the best.
Oh, thank you very much. I like that.
Yeah,
very nice.
It doesn't get any better than this. I like that. All right, our second one comes from Joan Ambitious Powell saying, join Brad Show Live for news, views, and positive attitude.
Ooh, I like that. Jay Rhymes.
Oh, Jay Rhymes.
Yeah, you watch out, Jay Rhymes. We may be replacing you soon.
Oh, I like it. I like it. All right, we got our third one from Joyce Henry saying, my brother came to Brad after his legal issues, and Brad was the man who helped him.
Oh, very nice. Thank you very much. By the way, Dainty Brown says it's a good boom.
Okay, good boom.
Good boom. Okay,
yeah,
we'll double check
make sure
it
you
on
let
that.
us know that. And our last comment of the day. Don Harriet saying, we have the best teacher.
Oh, thank you very much, Don Harriet.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Tuesday tea. Is Will Smith still on the menu, or everyone's tired of talking?
Tired of
We're tired of Will.
Tired of it.
All right, we'll be talking. I don't know what we're talking about. He's on the menu anyway. We'll keep talking anyway. All right, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it, I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?